Hey everyone. Okay, so today we're at Yonsei University. It's actually ranked top 2 in South Korea. So that is what the video was supposed to be about. I went to Yonsei University with a friend, and our original plan was to approach the university students and ask about what they're studying and what motivated them to study in such a prestigious university. And especially I was interested in foreigners who came to Korea just for this school. And the reason why I was curious and want to ask these questions is because, I personally have a lot of worries about the future and what I want to do. And I'm pretty sure many other people have the same concern as well. So I thought perhaps there will be a video that would help everyone. But before we were going to take the interviews, I had lunch with a sister I knew, and we talked for about 2 hours about the future. And she's a very realistic person, and yeah, that made me think a lot about the future in sort of a cold light. And I'm usually a very imaginative person, so I kind of got my spirits down because of all the confusion and all the thinking I had to do, but I believe it was something I needed. And yeah, just many interesting things happened that day. And my friend was playing games in another place, and by the time we met again, we were both sort of not in the mood he was supposed to be my cameraman, but we ended up just walking around the campus, and he actually suggested the idea we should ride electric bikes around the campus. And I took footage of the school just in case I was going to use it in a video. I'm not sure if that helped much, but okay. So yeah, I just accepted that perhaps things are not going to go to plan today, and let's just enjoy the time I have with my friend. And we just, rode bikes around the campus, and it was actually pretty nice. Like, how many people in this world would ride a bike with me around the campus that we both don't know? It was very nice. We also had dinner together, rode a bus, and had a few heartfelt conversations. And, that kind of gave me the thoughts, why don't I just talk about relationships and friends? You got this video now. So yeah, you're going to hear me in the past talk about friendships. I believe this was near that day. I'm not sure if it was before and after, but I don't know. I have some footage about myself talking about friends and a little bit about myself in the past. So, I don't know. I guess you can just use this as a podcast and, listen to me in the background if you want. Thank you. Hey everyone, it's me again, Seth, and this will be my first official video, excluding the opening. And yeah, I want to talk about friends for my first episode. Because, it's something that influences all of us. It's a topic that influences all of us, and it personally had a huge impact on my life, and still is, and still will in the future. So, I thought about starting with a little, backstory, or give you a little background of what I was like. Not saying that I'm totally social right now, but just to give you some information. Now, until high school, I was a very lonely person. I don't want to blame COVID, but I sort of will. But in middle school, COVID hit, and right when it became middle school, I used to live in the city, but I moved to a countryside. And yeah, in that time where I was supposed to make a lot of contact with the people around me, I was stuck at home taking online classes. So that was, I believe that had an effect, or maybe I'm just a natural introvert, but... So, in high school, I was, like I said, alone. And I would eat lunch alone at times, and between each class there's like a 10 minute break, and I would used to go outside. At first it was because of loneliness, and I would occasionally shed a tear or two, but yeah, I would tell other people around me that I was going out. Gosh, that's loud. But I would tell other people around me that it was for meditation. And yeah. But the only reason I could, sort of bear that was because I had one friend who would play chess with me time to time, which thank goodness for him. Yeah. And nearing the end of high school in Korea, basically the second semester of high school, no one studies this. It doesn't really affect their college application, university application. So people would just doze off, they would game, and some of them wouldn't even attend school because, hey, why would you need to? But I still attended school, but instead of studying what they taught in school, I would read books. And the other kids, the other boys, they would go together and, play games or whatever. But like I said, I was a lonely person. So, yeah, I started reading books, and then I came across this book called The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. I forgot what drew me to that book, but it's basically a book about psychology and how to gain power over other people. Yeah. And for some reason I desired that power. I cannot articulate the reason why right now, but I don't know, maybe we will attempt in the future. So yeah, I got a reason to be more social, to gain power. So after I graduated high school, I started I still didn't know what I wanted to do for a career or a job or what to study. So I sort of am taking a gap year right now. But I wanted to experience as many things as possible to, sort of get outside that school environment, and perhaps through that I could find something I want. So I actually signed up for being a coordinator for a quite big event where politicians would come to Korea, and that experience changed my life. But to be more specific, the people there changed my life and changed the way I see friends in the world. And the people there were, in simple words, pure, competent, and loving. And through their kindness and love and warmth, my sort of desire for power faded away, and just being around them made me happy, and they were so admirable. Like, even in competence, they spoke at least 3 languages. Some spoke 6, some spoke 10, which is insane. And yeah, they're just so caring that I always wanted to be around them. And they made me feel like I was a part of something. And just working with them, trying to accomplish a goal with them, that was a feeling that changed my perspective. And I still keep in contact with a few of those people, even though it's been like 5 months. Jeez. But yeah, I started approaching people with the intention to, just be friends with them instead of, waiting for people to approach me to praise me or give me a compliment. Nah, I didn't desire that anymore. I just wanted to, understand people and know people and be their friend. So that was a start. That was a change in my social life, and maybe want to go to environments where people were, and to show myself proudly in front of other people. And that led to more connections and more relationships. Not any inappropriate relationships, just more friendly relationships. And yeah, as a result, that made this year actually the happiest year of my life. Just other people. Something so small yet so profound, isn't it? So I like to take some time to kind of share what I gained and what I learned from other people. First is opportunity. So after that big event, I sort of volunteered to work at some place, and through connections, I was actually able to translate some local events for foreigners like 2 times a week. And heck, that's really fun. And while translating, I also learn a lot. And it's also aligned with my goal to be a more articulate person. So, hey. And people seem to, like the work I do. So, hey, all good, win-win. Also, this very part-time job I am in right now, which is a very rare catch with the pay and the work and the studying I get to do. Jeez, I'm very grateful for that. And they also provide many ways to see the world, and in a way that can solve many problems. For instance, I used to have this problem when I see someone of the opposite gender, and I would always have this thought in the back of my mind, like, what if this person was my potential girlfriend or anything? I know it is pretty silly, but it was a serious problem with me back then. But, talking to a brother of mine, I was able to hear one of his realizations he had in the past. We weren't talking about my problem, it just came up randomly, but he realized that anyone in this world, any human being, had the chance to be our brother or sister. That's the only thing separating us. That chance, the odds of family. And that just changed the way I see people. Like, in some universe, in some world, this person right now I'm looking at is my brother or is my sister. And how would I treat them in that universe? I started to think. And through that, my problem of seeing females as potential girlfriends disappeared. And then that also opens half of the population to be genuine friends and people I can learn from. So that is a massive gain. And fourth thing I want to share is the love and meaning that comes with friends. So through my translating gig, I wasn't good at first because simultaneous translation, it can be quite tough, especially when you're talking about a specific topic. But yeah, at first I didn't really have a drive to do good because they were kind of desperate for a translator. And the translator who was working had to do it 5 times a week, and he was very exhausted. So they're just grateful for having a translator. So there's not much need to improve. But when I heard that one day, the one person that I got close with from that big event with the politicians, she was listening. She was going to listen to my translation. And that just lit a fire in me, because this person is someone I respect so much, and someone I want to show my best always. Not saying that, the girlfriend vision, but just such a competent, loving person. And the translation I did that night was the best translation I had ever done. I was articulate, my pronunciation was great, the speed was catching up, and the preparation I did before that was a little different from what I usually do. Let's put it like that. And, I come to think, if it weren't for that person, would I have reached that level of competence? Would I have practiced that hard? Probably not. And after the translation, she, sent me a little text message saying that, oh my gosh, your translation was so great, and with specific compliments. How good that felt. Oh my gosh. I started thinking, living for others, working because you care and love other people. Perhaps that is something that can push the boundaries of your competence and make you reach higher heights. And that in itself can be a source of new meaning, which is just incredible in my eyes. And generally, you just become an overall happier person. Say it's your birthday. This year, oh my gosh. Okay, last year, only about maybe 2 or 3 people gave me a happy birthday, which I was super happy about. Just having 2-3 people genuinely wishing happy birthday, it's amazing. But this year I had over 30 people wish me a happy birthday. Not strangers, all people I knew. Maybe to some people that's not money, but to me that is huge. It was the most meaningful and happiest birthday I could ever receive. I didn't receive any physical gifts, but okay, maybe a little. But just them wishing me a happy birthday, just them putting the time to say something just for me, that words cannot express fully. Words do not do the justice of how happy I was. Giving. One of the greatest joys ever. It was Beporo Day recently, which is a Korean thing where it's November 11th and you give these snacks that look like sticks to other people. And, I gave some to people. They saying thank you, that is also amazing. But then them giving something back, it just makes you glad that you were alive to see this moment. It just makes all the sort of negativity wash away, even temporarily, or no, even long-lastingly. Just, you see that somebody cares about you, and you see that somebody appreciates your existence. That someone would rather live in a world where you are in than where you are not. It's crazy how, small acts like this are, just simply talking to people, simply just giving a small snack to people could lead to something so deep. I know a lot of people, well, I don't exactly know, but the internet says that a lot of our youth are just staying at home, not going outside, barely making any friends in person. And I don't know if it's true, which it probably is. I just hope that everyone could feel the happiness and the meaning of making true friends and making relationships in person. Not online is nice too, but in person is infinitely better. I hope that you can take even a step further in making more friends, or not even making more friends. My number doesn't matter, but it does lead to a lot of interesting things if you make a lot of friends. But as they say, having just a few meaningful, truly deep connections is going to be life-changing. So I hope everyone watching this, even me in the future, could start reaching out to people and start giving and start loving. And for those who still hesitate or have a hard time, taking that step, I hope this channel, my videos, my voice can be a source of comfort and a source of encouragement, so that one day maybe you can take that step. That's it. See you.